Welcome back to the Coach's Corner here at Music Mill in Clearwater on 1070thefan.com. I'm Jake Query. Coach, I understand you've eaten here before, right? You're pawning off the tickets, but you've had the food.
I have had the food. I will pawn the ticket off, but the food was outstanding. We came in here a couple times after games, and it was really, really good. So. All
right, so there you go. There's the endorsement you need. All right, we talked about talking to one of the players, and you brought one along with you. Very much appreciated. Anthony Bitetto joins us, and you got on the Yankees hat. Anthony, a defenseman, 6'3", 208 pounds. In his second year with the Ice, won a championship a year ago, and one of those carryovers into this season. Anthony, first off, thanks for coming, and welcome to the Music Mill.
Well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Let's talk about the Yankees hat first and foremost. I mean, you talk about champions. Obviously, there's a reason you're wearing the Yankees hat. You're a New York kid, huh?
Yeah, I mean, growing up, my father and my grandfather always loved the Yankees. I mean, it runs in the family, and I got kind of stuck with it, and I love going to the games.
Yankees going to do it next year, too? They're going to repeat?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's spoken like a New York kid, right?
Exactly.
All right, Anthony, let's talk about, when you say the Yankees repeating.
Yeah.
You have a chance to do that. You're one of the players that won the championship a year ago with the Ice. And we talked about it, Coach and I, just a minute ago. But for you personally as a player, does that put a little pressure on you coming into this season, or is it something that obviously you welcome? But
it does and it doesn't. I mean, in the end, we just got to keep taking steps forward and, keep fighting for that goal. I mean, last year was unbelievable for me. Like, I came here halfway through the year, and, being a part of the team that wins it in a league like this was just amazing. And for me to do it again would just be a dream come true. I mean, getting 2 rings in a league like this is so special.
Now, being from New York, we were talking before the show. You got the Devils in New York. You've got in New Jersey, obviously. You've got the Islanders. You got the Rangers. You're a Rangers fan.
100%.
But just your thoughts of Indianapolis. When you came here you are, a young kid. You show up in Indianapolis. What have been your thoughts of the city itself and of the hockey support here?
It's the support. All the fans here are unbelievable. Like, it's a pleasure playing in front of everybody every night. But the only difference is the city's a little smaller.
A little smaller New York, huh?
Yeah.
We actually had to bring in 2 other Long Island guys to help translate for Anthony, because last year, half the year, we didn't know what he was saying. So now we got more guys that can.
Long Island to Hoosier. Now, this coming from a guy who's got the Northern Michigan UP accent. I mean, come on, right? Hey, Anthony, get ready to take some notes here. You ready? Because I'm going to ask Coach. Coach, your thoughts on Anthony's progression as a player. You've got Anthony. You're going to be playing college hockey here soon, but. Coach, what have you seen from a year ago to now, and what Anthony's game, how it's evolved a little bit, or maybe where he still needs to go?
Well, I mean, first off, he's a person who wants to be great, and he wants to get better. So he wants to work at it, and he's willing to listen. And those types of people always get better. So he's got the key ingredients to really continue to improve. When he came to us, I think self-admittedly, he was a fairly raw hockey player. I mean, he kind of would go out and play, and he has got some great attributes. He can really hit. He's a big physical presence. He's got a good stick. He can pass a puck and shoot a puck. And now it's kind of learning the game. And that's, again, what this league's for. The league he played in previously, he could probably get away with some stuff that now at this level he can't. And so now it's just been constantly working on his defensive positioning, how to be really physical but not lose that containment and let guys go by him. And that's not an easy quality. I mean, there's guys in the NHL that still struggle with that. So it's again, our expectation of Anthony is to be great. I truly believe Anthony has a chance to play in the National Hockey League, and as he continues to get better at this stuff, he's going to give himself that chance.
Anthony, anything there that surprises you that you hear, or would you agree with most of that? Hey, these are areas that I need to work on, or areas that are strong suits of mine?
Oh, well, there's definitely things I need to work on. I mean, my number one thing that Coach always tells me is make sure a guy has to come through me before getting to the net, and that's something right now I'm definitely working on.
The first time that I saw the Ice play in the USHL, the first thing that really jumped out at me was the speed. It was a fast brand of hockey. As a defenseman, have you noticed that? Has the game slowed down a little for you, or do you still get a little mesmerized with the speed of some of the guys you're going up against?
If you're getting caught flat-footed, then it's going to be fast. But if you keep your good gap, and then it's the same. I mean, it really hasn't changed that much.
Is there anybody that you watched in the NHL, we'll start with that, as a kid growing up that you've kind of patterned after, or maybe a role model of yours?
Well, as a kid, Brian Leach playing for the Rangers, I mean, sure. He was definitely one of my top defensemen. But now I like to, stay in defense, so a guy like Phaneuf in the NHL right now is a guy that I like to resemble.
All right, now your future, the way it works in the United States Hockey League is that you can play up until you're 21 years old. You, if I'm not mistaken, you're 19, you'll be 20 in May, is that right?
No, July.
July, I was close. I was
Yeah,
only 2 months off.
More than I knew.
But either way, where will you go from here? What is your game plan, and how have you mapped it out for yourself?
Well, next year I'm actually going to attend Northeastern University, which is located in Boston, Massachusetts.
Oh, no, take the hat off before you get there, all right? That's my one tip for you. They don't like the Yankee
No,
hats.
I don't think so.
But take me through the recruiting process and why that's a good fit for you.
Well, when I first went there, it was just a place I enjoyed. You know, like the city of Boston is actually beautiful, except for the Red Sox, of course. But it's a place where I wanted to be, and that's why I chose that school. And of course, you're talking about a pretty rabid hockey town in Boston. Yeah.
There aren't many that are bigger than that. Is that a little bit intimidating to go somewhere where there's going to be a focus and a spotlight there?
Nah, it's just another step to becoming greater. So.
I'll say this about Anthony. Like last year was mid-season when we traded for him, and talk about not being afraid to take that leap of faith. He had no worries of packing up, driving through the night to come from Long Island. Never left probably home much in his life to come out to Indy. And that's again, it's a trait of guys who want to take a risk to be great. And
that's part of the learning process, isn't it? I mean, at that age in particular.
Sure. Yeah, I think again, just packing up, coming into our locker room, not knowing anybody. You live with a family in town here, so there's families that are nice enough to take these guys in for the year. Totally different than his lifestyle at home. He hit a home run with his housing family, like most of our guys do. But I just thought that said to me, and it says to NHL scouts and college scouts, that's a guy who wants to be a player. And some people just stay at home and aren't willing to take those risks are usually the ones that don't quite reach their fullest potential.
I know, in listening to Pacer games on 1070 The Fan, Mark Boyle, the voice of the Pacers, he's one of the guys that you talk about a hockey guy. Mm-hmm. Of course, he grew up in Minnesota, so he's a big hockey fan. But he's taken in some kids, hadn't he?
Yeah, he's housed kids for a little bit here, and had a couple of them last year, and he's actually got. He started with one this year, and now he's got two. So I think they enjoy it, and he's been a really interesting guy to get to know. I really like his insight. He's obviously seen sports at such a high level, and so many different coaches have that I pick his brain a lot. I consider him a good friend, and he's definitely a friend of the ice.
Coach, you coached obviously at Miami of Ohio and Oxford, Ohio, so you know the college game well. Mm-hmm. For Anthony, and I'm sure you guys have had this discussion, but what will be different in college hockey as opposed to where he's playing now?
The jump that Anthony took from the league he was at prior to coming here is actually a bigger jump than the one that he'll face from the USHL to college, although it will be a jump. I think some of it will be specific to the program. I'm sure they'll run systems a little bit different than we will, so that'll be a little bit of the change. But probably the overall lifestyle of you just have a lot more on your plate. I mean, a junior hockey life is somewhat easy in comparison to college, where you're taking a full load of course credits and you're also competing at that high level.
Anthony, have you thought about what you want to study when you get to college? You got any one area that really interests you?
I'm not really sure yet. Probably something with business management. Like to own my own business one day, so something along those lines.
Northeastern got a good school for it?
Yes, they do, actually. Very good.
There's something about the East Coast schools, and Northeastern, I'm sure, is a fine academic institution, but I'm here to tell you, when you get to the Midwest and you hear about schools in the East, they just sound elite. It just sounds like they're all Ivy League schools, so you'll have that going for you when you get out of Northeastern. Yeah. Appreciate you coming by. We'll continue the conversation. Also, get to know a little bit more about Coach himself. You see him there during the ice games, but what makes this guy tick, and what does he do away from the rink? Those are things we'll all get into here from the Music Mill on Clearwater on the north side. You're watching the Coach's Corner, the Indiana Ice Coaches Show here on 1070thefan.com.